If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the filthy capitalist option. As Sori says, $125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. $125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and you get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at vinsori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Yep. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go into Village, Facebook.com/Vin and Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch indeed. A child shall lead them.
To buy our merch.
Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener.
That's a no, Vinny. I'll check into that tomorrow. Blue October Feel Again.
Oh, another Blue October song? Are you sure?
No, this is only, we only have one. What do you mean another? Why sing another?
I thought the previous song was a Blue October
No.
song.
That one was Author and Punisher.
Oh, sure.
Okay, Blue October, Feel Again, in parentheses it says Stay. This one was picked by Matt. Hopefully that was the name he wanted me to use. Oh, there's no write-up.
Oh, Any Man in America.
Requested by a drifter, Horst Buchholz. As Chico? Oh.
Horst Buchholz as Chico.
Is it Buchholz?
They're going along with the Magnificent
Yeah, I
Seven
know, but
theme.
I don't know anything about the movie.
So
I've never seen it. I don't know anything about it.
All right, we continue.
So I'm just like reading, and it.
Blue October, Feel Again. The name of the song is Stay. I need you,
Feel Again, Stay.
my sweet, to tell me what the timestamp is, because this is a whole.
Again?
This is another whole album.
Okay, this is gonna be from second 53 to 6:55.
Okay, from second.
Okay, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna.
That's Any Man in America, right? Is the entire album?
Any Man in America. Yep.
Okay, hold on. So second 53.
2 minutes 6:55.
Okay. So this is let this be background noise, dear listener.
I'm texting you, so if you can't remember it, check that text. Okay?
We've got 13 seconds left till the song takes off. Just enjoy it.
Yeah.
And then we will go. Here it is. Here's the song.
See the sun go down on the river. I feel the wind blow out of state gray. I feel the air around you, it's kinda closing in. Do you feel it fall? Do you feel at all? I can't.
Wow.
See the world keep moving as I stumble. They seem to move much faster than me. this time I'm gonna take it with me. See the door close down behind you. I'll watch your face turn from glow to straight gray. See the moon go up and it shines this glory on my face. Wow. Who would know? Who would know? Who would know? Oh, we would stay, we should stay and never go. Oh, no, there's us three of us to think about now. And I'll show, I think we'd stay, we just stay, and then we know that we should never let go. Oh, something to think about. In our heart, just look into those brown eyes, and you just fall apart. Oh, maybe we should stay, at least you know that we should never let go. I wish you'd stay. Wish you'd stay.
Damn,
Ouch.
that's deep.
I'm
I
standing
think it's a
on
I think it's a
open
relationship song.
You think?
I think that's a relationship song.
Yeah, that's what it looked like to me. And you know me, I never think that, so.
Damn, that just hits you in the
Yep.
the heart, bro.
Yep, it did.
All right, what'd you think the song was about?
Break up.
I think it's a divorce. I don't think
Break up, divorce.
a breakup and a divorce are
It's
not the
over.
same thing.
It's over.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but a
no,
breakup
I
and a
hear you.
divorce are
You're
not the
right,
same
especially
thing.
how it's going to affect the kids and stuff.
Especially when there's a kid involved.
Yeah.
See, while I
Yeah, I
sit in my
agree, a
four-cornered
divorce.
room dividing hearts for our little girl. So, they had a kid together,
Mm-hmm.
but it looks like the relationship just couldn't work out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because she, at the end, he says, I see the door close down behind you. I watch your face turn from glow to straight gray. That's a brilliant line. I
Yeah,
see the
I
moon go
know.
up and the shines a glory on my face. Who will know? That's brilliant how he used nature as a metaphor. Because at the beginning, he said the sun was her image or something like that. Where did it go?
Oh, yeah, when she went up. Yeah, where was that? Right
Yeah,
there.
and I see the sun go up as your image, and I feel the weight of your eyes as you stare. So initially, she's like the sun.
Yep.
But then at the end of the relationship, then it talks about the moon shining glory on his face, all the rest of it.
Yeah.
As the big homie Dan knows, divorce is, yeah, I just, like, I came on kind of strong. I'm not saying that people who are not married, who have breakups are not hurt. Like, it absolutely is. But when you take that next step to marry a person, like, you're saying, like, it's different.
Yeah.
And so when a divorce happens, you're talking about
People don't walk into a marriage thinking that they're going to break up. Like when you
Right.
get into a relationship, you're kind of like, well, maybe this will work. Hopefully it does, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. But like a marriage is different. You have two people that are on the same page to say, hey, like she said, like from the beginning, he was saying like he wanted to keep it going. Mm-hmm. Not to let go, that they would. And I'm sure that they both were like that at the beginning. But then you can see as time progressed and stuff is not going well.
This band is crazy. I love that vocal style because
Yeah,
it's got
me
that
too.
like almost retro 80s vocal style,
Yeah.
like somebody said Phil Collins-ish.
Yes, I thought that too. Yep.
That was, man.
But you felt I felt the pain of it. I felt like I was there. I got emotional. At first, I wasn't sure if the person was dying.
Yeah.
The way that he explained it, which obviously is, can feel like that, divorces. But wow, what a beautiful way of writing that, right?
Yeah.
And when he said dividing hearts for our little girl, what do you think he meant? Like, because everything has to get split up because they're dividing up, they're leaving,
Yeah, everything
and then
is
the
getting
little girl
divided
is
up.
getting it.
And so it's like, okay, well, how are you going to divide this up? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of like, and Dan kind of knows about this. This is only a couple things I've shared, with him. But, when you're in a bad situation, when you got kids involved, like, especially as a dude, like, I'm like, you know what, man? You stay longer, like you extend things and I carried around probably a relationship that had been dead for probably 2 or 3 years, but I got, my only thing was the kids, it's like, what am I going to do with the kids and visitation and all this? Like, that was just something I'd rather have died than do.
Yeah.
But, situations got to a point where it was like, I mean, there were some serious mental health issues. And so she would just get up and leave. It was like ritualistic almost, like once a year. Like you just wake up, she'd be gone. Different state, whatever. There was like one Christmas where we were, driving around at 2 a.m. I locked our bedroom door. I told the kids, Mom's sleeping in there. She's sick, yada, yada, yada. Let's go for a drive. The entire time I was like looking for her. You know what I'm saying? Like it was that kind of type of situation. Like, and I was able to keep that whole side of it away from them, but then the older they got, they started asking questions like, wait, Mom's on a random vacation? Like, like literally, like we woke up, she's gone, and she just went to vacation without you, without us. They started asking questions. I told Shorty,
it started not making sense to them.
I told Shorty, I was like, look, man, like, as long as I can keep all the pain and trials and tribulation between me and you, and I'm carrying the pain, like, I'm good with that. But, if you leave and the kids know you're leaving, that's it. I'm not doing that with them because that's how I grew up. It's like he's gone, he's back, he's gone, he's back. We moved around all over the place, because moving will solve the problem. And I was just like, if you do that, we're gone, because I'm not going to do that to the kids. Because that now that crosses a line between a me and you issue. Now you're getting them involved, and I'm not going to make them carry that. So she did that, and that was that. You know what I'm saying? Like that was. I said, I'm not chasing you if you do that. And she did it, so that was that, man. And it's crazy because at the end of the day, she's still the one that, sent the papers and all the rest of it. It was a crazy situation. It's a crazy situation, like, because now, all of us we're cool. Like the three of us, your guys, whatever, but. Yeah, man, that was a tough situation. It's hard to be like, I don't know. You try to make shit work, and the shit doesn't work, man, and you got kids involved. And then you kind of like hit this point where it's like, yo, I invested all this time, like, how can you quit now? There's a whole bunch of shit that I used to like tell myself, to stick it out for another year or whatever. It worked, but what I didn't anticipate, like I always thought to myself, it's going to get better, it's going to get better, it's going to get better. What I didn't anticipate is my kids getting older and her being in that same spot. And, now, like looking back, it's like me and Dan, we had these wars and we had these, discussions. And, one of the things I said is like, treat it like she died. And it doesn't mean like she's dead to me, but it's when a person dies, you allow yourself to go through a certain kind of a grieving process. You're allowed to grieve a certain way with a death that you're not allowed to grieve with a divorce, because people will say, well, just be with her then, and blah blah blah. They don't understand,
right?
Like, especially when there's kids, like you can't run your kids through the coals because you're trying to maintain some ideal or whatever, like, I don't know.
Yeah, because sometimes it gets to a point where it's like, if you stay, that's worse for what it's going to do to the kids long term than if you go through with the divorce. Well, depending on where the situation is.
Yeah, I mean, that was one of the major things with the kids, like because everybody knows we've got a pretty open relationship, and there's no titles really in the house, so kids can say whatever's on their mind. So they were like, "Yo, you were irresponsible. You let this go on way too long. Why did you do that? Like, you let us get hurt by this person, like, way more than we should have had to, And so, like, they needed to be able to say that, though, to me. You know what I'm saying? And if I had to do it over again, I probably still would have done it that way. Because, like, I had to have it in my head that I did everything possible. You know what I'm saying? Like, I some of it was like, how Christianity talks about marriages, especially American evangelicalism, but some of it was just like the nature of the relationship was always like a savior type relationship, distress savior sort of dynamic. And so it was like, I felt like I was giving up on her, abandoning her. Then the whole situation with her mom, there's just so many things where I was just like, Bill Belichick is famous for, like, cutting players like a year too soon. Like, so he let Tom go probably a year too soon. If he would have, you know what I'm saying? Like, because he wins the Super Bowl the next, but the last 2 years he hasn't been doing pretty good. So he let Tom go a year too soon, literally. But I don't know. I don't know. Like, I believe the song specifically about his wife leaving because he's always on tour. Yeah. When they married, there was 2 of them, then they had a kid, etc. Yeah. I mean, and I got buddies, like, their career just made marriage impossible. Never. You know what I'm saying? The bright side of it was that she was aware of how kind of mentally off she was, and so there was no custody, anything. Like, to this moment, we don't have any. I remember one time I was calling up a lawyer because I'm like, yo, what am I supposed to do? She sent me these papers, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, okay, how much you have to pay for how much are you anticipating paying for child support? I'm like, well, all the kids are with me. He's like, 100% of the time? I'm like, yeah. He's like, okay, then you need to get child support. And I'm like, nah, we ain't doing that. He's like, what? He hung up on me. He wouldn't rep me if I didn't get child support. He would just hung up the phone. He's like, if you don't do that, there's so many ways she can fuck you, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, but she's not like that. And he's like, oh, yeah, I've heard that before. He's like, this is not going to work.
Yep. Yeah, it's crazy because that's what the lawyer said to you. The lawyer said to me, when everything, oh, shoot, I forgot where I was going to go with that, but maybe
child
better.
Support.
Yeah, I know, but maybe it's something I shouldn't say.
Yeah. So, like, so that I'm grateful. I'm grateful for that aspect. And like I said, it was tough sledding, but we've all figured out some semblance of, like, I don't want to say, like, oh, we're okay, hunky-dory, because,
we're not. Like, we have, it's still complicated. I mean, at the end of the day, it's your ex. She comes to our holidays, and we're doing that for the kids.
Right.
And, and for her, honestly, I do it for her as well. But, like, the
dynamics of the relationship are so extremely unique.
Yeah.
Because aside from that, you were also a caretaker for her, so.
It's a very unique situation that I don't think you couldn't even write a book or anything on it because it's just so unique.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that it's taken all of us to work together to be able to get it so it's that good for the kids. Because from my vantage point, there was a lot of times where we all had conversations or whatever, and I would think to myself, if I was her, I don't know if I would have sat in that chair and listened to that whole conversation. That's a difficult conversation to have. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's, you know. And, she's one of the few times where, like, the self-help stuff was was not bullshit. Like, she applied the self-help stuff, and she got a good kind of group of people around her to like encourage her and all that, and she has absolutely made some really amazing advancements.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
shout out to her. But
Absolutely.
yeah, it's a tough song. Tough song for sure. Anybody who's going,
really
anybody
beautiful.
who's going through that or been through that, you know, I salute you. It's a silent count for me. Like that's how, like, it's like Dan said, like it's like a death. I mean, it really is, and in some ways it's worse. So shout out to everybody that went through that. But yeah,
Tough stuff.
it's difficult.
I'm actually giving this one a 10 because one, it was a relationship song. It had like that sad edge to it, which I always kind of find myself drawn to, and his voice is just really great, and I feel like that I just feel like that he captured the feelings. Like I don't think, I think you've probably worked through your divorce more than I've worked through mine. I think I put mine somewhere in the back of my head where I don't even really look at it much. You've kind of worked through a lot of your stuff. I'm sure you still have plenty to work through, but I've seen you throughout the years. Like you would always like kind of face it. Like I remember way at the beginning of my divorce, I thought like you got to just cut everything cold, like, because how else are you going to go through with this? Like, this is extremely difficult thing to do. And even though it's, you know, at the time, I mean, now it seems more necessary than it did to me at the time. Because now I'm older, so I see where more of the things could have gone. But like divorce is, it's so hard. Like, I just remember you saying like, it's okay to still say that you love that person, because for you to have loved somebody for X amount of years and then cut it off and you guys are divorced now, it's impractical to think that your love is just gonna, like, if love could do that'd be pretty, like, how significant was that love to begin with that you could shut it off cold like that? And that was like weird for me to hear you say, because I was like, he's telling me that it's okay if I still have feelings for my ex, which is insane. But it was like, I really felt like that you were caring for me as a person rather than how you felt about that. And I think that information is necessary for anybody that's going through that, is just to say, you know, like, sometimes you have to, because of the nature of the relationship, you have to end it, but it doesn't mean that your heart in that moment completely changes toward that person. You just hate them and you're completely fine and you could just go on like they never existed. Everybody's relationships are different, and how that affects everybody is different. But the way that he captured it in this song, like, you felt the significance of their relationship, and you felt like the slow waning away of their relationship and the effect that it had. And then, you know, like, when he starts it out by talking about the sun and her rising and stuff, like, I see the sun as you go up as your image. And basically he's saying when the sun goes up, like, it reminds her, you know?
Yeah.
But then by the end, he's saying, like, as she walks out, the glow is gone and it's just gray and there's nothing in her eyes and stuff. And, like, that's... But he says, I wish you'd have stayed. And I'm not sure how I feel about that line, because I don't know why she left. And, like, I don't know. And I don't even know how he's saying it. But, like, I wish you would have stayed is him... To me, it sounds like he's putting it on her, that it's... Instead of, let's just say it was there, that he was gone on tour so much that it like completely killed their relationship, and she was begging him to come home, and it was some Tom Brady shit. If it's one of those, like, at the end of the song and after all that, he's not saying, I wish I would have prioritized my family more, I wish that I would have heard from you more, I wish I would have, you know, made some subtle changes or made some massive changes. Instead, he's saying, I wish you would have stayed. So I felt like at the end he was putting it all on her, and I don't know if it's all her. Like, I don't know if she just said, you know what, fuck this family, I'm leaving, and there wasn't really anything significant.
Yeah, I don't look at it as a blame statement. I just look at it as he wished she would have stayed.
Yeah, and maybe it was like written like that.
And you know, a lot of you know, we talked about purpose. Like, a lot of people, especially guys, they find so much of their purpose in their work. Mm-hmm. And a lot of their identity and who they are as people. I mean, I knew with my guys, I mean, that was their identity. Mm-hmm. You know, that was their identity, was the locus of all their value. Yeah, there were other things like, oh, the adrenaline and blah blah blah, and I'm addicted to that. But it was really like to be, whoa, you're 1% of 1% of 1%. Nobody could do what you do, and blah blah blah, and you were born for this and yada yada. It's very hard. The woman is looking at it like, you don't want to be with us. You're not prioritizing us. Yada yada yada. When in reality, it's like the dude's like, yo, my entire life I've been looking for this. Mm-hmm. And now you're telling me I got to give up the thing that I've been looking for my entire life for you. Can't you understand? Blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to do this forever. Yada, yada, yada. And then the other thing guys generally won't say it, but when you have an ultimatum like that and you give up something like that before you're ready, it just breeds so much resentment to where the relationship would have ended anyway. Mm-hmm. Because the guy would be full of so much resentment, so mm-hmm. I understand both perspectives of it. I really, really, really do. Shout out to BC. I really, really understand both perspectives on it. It's just tough, it's tough, but good song.
Did I rate it?
Yeah, you gave it a 10. I gave it a silent count. We have more songs to go, dear listener. Never you fail.
All
Vin
right.
out.
Sorry out.
Gone.